The family gathered in the parlor, their laughter sharp as broken glass. They had found the advertisement in the newspaper. A mountain man seeking a wife, someone strong and kind, someone who could endure the solitude of the high country. It was a joke, they decided, and they knew exactly who to send. She was the ugly daughter, the one they kept in the back of photographs, the one they reminded at every meal that no man would ever want her. Her mother handed her the advertisement with a smile that did not reach her eyes. "Perhaps even you could find a husband in the wilderness," she said. "Beasts belong with beasts." She wrote to him that night, not because she believed, but because she had nothing left to lose. She told him the truth, that she was not beautiful, that her family had mocked her, that she would understand if he did not write back. She sealed the letter and sent it into the darkness, expecting nothing. His reply came within a week. The handwriting was rough. The paper smelled of smoke and pine. He did not mention her looks. He asked about her dreams, her fears, the books she had read. He said he had been alone for 7 years and that he would like to know her. She read the letter 3 times before she believed it. Her family laughed when she told them she was going. Her father said she would be back within a month, humiliated, just as she deserved. Her mother helped her pack with hands that were not gentle, choosing the oldest dresses, the most worn boots. "He will send you back," she said. They always do. The stagecoach wound through the mountains, the trees growing thicker, the towns growing smaller. She watched the world change outside her window, and she felt something she had not felt in years. Not hope, she was too afraid for that, but something close. Something that might become hope if she let it. He was waiting at the end of the road, a tall man with a gray beard and eyes that seemed to see through her. He did not smile when she stepped down from the coach. He simply looked at her, nodded once, and picked up her bag. She followed him up the trail, her heart pounding, her hands trembling. He did not speak, and she was grateful. The cabin was small but warm, a fire already burning in the hearth. He set her bag by the bed, poured her a cup of tea, and sat across from her at the table. "You are not ugly," he said. She looked up, startled. "Your family lied to you. You are not ugly. You are tired and sad, and you have been hurt. But you are not ugly." She did not know what to say. No one had ever spoken to her like that. No one had ever looked at her like that. Not with pity, not with disgust, but with something that looked like recognition. "You do not have to be beautiful," he said. "You only have to be real." She began to cry, and he did not look away. The weeks that followed were the strangest of her life. He did not try to touch her, did not demand anything from her. He showed her how to tend the garden, how to chop wood, how to track the deer that came to the spring. He treated her like a partner, not a servant. He treated her like she mattered. She learned to read his silences, to understand the language of his hands. He learned to make her laugh, a rusty sound that had not been used in years. They worked together, ate together, sat by the fire together, and slowly, without either of them naming it, they began to fall in love. One evening, as the sun set behind the peaks, he took her hand and led her to the ridge. The valley spread below them, gold and green, the river a silver thread in the distance. "I have lived here for 7 years, he said. "I thought I was content, but I was waiting. I did not know I was waiting for you." She looked at him, at the man who had seen past her scars, past her silence, past everything her family had used to wound her. "They sent me as a joke," she said. "They thought you would laugh at me. They thought you would send me back." He shook his head slowly. "They were wrong. You are not a joke. You are everything." That winter was the hardest of her life, but also the sweetest. The snow buried the cabin. The cold seeped through the walls, and they survived on what they had stored. She learned to shoot, to trap, to skin the animals that kept them alive. He learned to listen, to wait, to let her speak when she was ready. In the spring, a letter came from her family. They had heard she was still there, still alive, still not returned. They demanded to know if she had been married, if she had a claim to the mountain man's land, if there was anything they could take from her. She read the letter, then fed it to the fire. "What did they want?" he asked. She shook her head, watching the paper curl and blacken. "Nothing I have," she said. "Nothing I would give them." He came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist, and rested his chin on her shoulder. "You owe them nothing," he said. "You owe yourself everything." They were married in the summer, in the meadow where the wildflowers grew thick and the bees hummed in the sunlight. There was no preacher, no ceremony, no witnesses, but the mountains and the sky. He took her hands, looked into her eyes, and said words that needed no paper to bind them. "I choose you," he said. "I will always choose you." Words spread down the valley, not of her shame, but of the thriving ranch, the warmth of the cabin, the way the mountain man smiled now when he spoke her name. Her family stopped laughing. They sent letters, then messengers, then finally came themselves, hoping to claim a share of what she had built. She met them at the gate and sent them away. The years passed, and she became something she had never imagined she could be. Strong, happy, loved. She bore him children who ran barefoot through the meadow, who never knew what it meant to be called ugly. He grew old beside her, his beard turning white, his hands growing stiff, but his eyes never changed. They always looked at her the same way, like she was everything. On the night of their 20th anniversary, they sat on the porch, watching the stars appear. She leaned against him, her head on his shoulder, her hand in his. "Do you remember the advertisement?" she asked. He laughed, a low rumble in his chest. "I remember writing to a woman who thought she was nothing. I remember hoping she would believe me when I told her she was everything." She turned, looked up at him, and kissed his cheek. "I believed you," she said. "It just took me a little while." And in the quiet of the mountains, a woman who had been sent away as a joke and a man who had been alone for too long held each other in the darkness and knew that the family who had mocked her had given her the greatest gift they could never have imagined. They had given her